Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Soma Sports Broadcast. I am Benny. I'm here with
Brandon, Phillip.
And let's get started with recapping some Soma sports. So on April 11th, the Friday before spring break, the Tuskers took on Briarcliff in boys lacrosse, and it was a rout for the Tuskers in that game. One of the games I had the pleasure to call, and the Tuskers went on a rout in that game, winning 17-6 against a phenomenal Briarcliff team as well.
April 11th, the girls' flag football team took on Tappan Zee, and they lost to Tappan Zee 47-13.
Yeah, on the 15th, Somers boys lacrosse took on Hen Hud, and they it was basically a blowout domination, won 18-3.
And then on Wednesday, the 16th, the girls lacrosse took on Carmel, and they showed up getting a big win. It was a big win for that team as they won 15-5.
April 17th, boys lacrosse beat Farmingdale 9-6. That was a great game. We got to be there.
Yeah, and 5 days later on the 22nd, flag football took on John Jay, but unfortunately lost 26-12.
And another game I got to call as well. The Tuskers took on Pleasantville, and it was a rout for the Tuskers as they took this one 23-4. Just a phenomenal performance from beginning to end against a team that they lost to in overtime just a year ago.
Wednesday the 23rd, both varsity and JV baseball played John Jay Cross River. Varsity beat John Jay 11-1, and JV beat John Jay 13-11.
Yeah, a great day for Somers baseball there. And now we are going to go to our interview with Coach Hirsh of boys varsity lacrosse. So I am here with Somers varsity lacrosse coach, Coach Hirsh. Thank you for coming in today.
It's a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
And let's get started with first question. So one thing I'm wondering is, what inspired you to become a lacrosse coach?
Yeah, it's a great question. I love this game. I love lacrosse. It's given me so many great things in my life, and I've been really fortunate to play for and work for some great mentors, and it's made me want to stay in coaching, and it's a great way to give back to a game that really has given me a ton throughout my life.
All right, very cool. And for some of those that are watching that may not know much about lacrosse, could you tell the viewers a little bit about the basics of lacrosse?
Yeah, so field lacrosse is a 10-on-10 sport. There's three main positions that play in the field, which would be defense, midfield, and attack. And of course you have a goaltender. Different size sticks for positions. The defenders have the longer sticks. Midfielders and attackmen have the shorter ones, and the goalies have the larger frame heads. And it's just a fast game. It's fun. I think what people really like about lacrosse is there's so many other sports infused into lacrosse, like the contact of football and the spacing of soccer, goal scoring abilities of hockey maybe, and the list goes on and on. So there's a lot of things that you can find about sports you might know more about within lacrosse.
All right. And can you tell us a little bit about your career and where you've worked up to where you are now as a coach?
Yeah, I've been really fortunate. I've had a lot of great experiences through this game. I started out coaching at a few colleges. When I graduated college, I coached at Hampton-Sydney College down in Virginia. I moved over to Lynchburg University, which is also in Virginia, and then decided to move back to New York, where I grew up. I coached at my alma mater at Hen Hud for about 13 years as an assistant. And during that time, I also was fortunate to become the offensive coordinator for the Israeli national team. And then the opportunity to coach at Somers came about, and it was one that I felt really strongly about, and I've been here since last season.
Yeah, that's an incredible path. And can you tell us a little bit about your background in the sport of lacrosse?
Yeah, so I grew up playing lacrosse. Quickly became my favorite thing to do among other sports. Like I said, I grew up in Montrose, which is Hen Hud School District. I played through the youth, through high school. I went to Nazareth College, which is now Nazareth University, and I played 4 years there. Just the best experience. I had a great coach, just made some lifelong friends that I still talk to almost daily, and it kind of set me up to want to continue my career where it would involve lacrosse. And I'm just very, very lucky that I found the game, because it's not something my family did. It was just I signed up because my friends were signing up when I was a little kid, and I'm still doing it, 30 years later.
Wow, that's cool. Alright, so can you give us a basic generalization of how do you game plan for your opponents? Like, what's your walkthrough throughout the week?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So what's kind of neat about lacrosse is, we play 2 or 3 games a week, right? So, in football, it's once a week. I guess this is more similar to basketball. So, our whole coaching staff does a really good job of preparation. We watch hours and hours of film. We cut things up to try and make it as concise as possible. And our usual routine is we'll focus mostly on us, and then we'll take parts of our preparation time. So before practice, we'll watch film, we'll go over some written reports, we'll walk through some things on the field, and then play the game. And like I said, the main focus is on what we can do well in order to kind of disarm our opponent, but more focused on what we're doing.
All right. Okay. And what about coaching lacrosse? If you had to pick one thing, what about coaching do you enjoy the most?
Yeah, I'd say all of it. I love coaching. I love coaching lacrosse. I coached basketball for 11 years, so I have experience in other sports as well, but lacrosse has just been my passion. I love when the weather starts to turn in the spring like it is now, and what I think the thing I love most about lacrosse is it's just such an easy game to fall in love with, and for me to be able to coach guys that are in some transformative years and be able to kind of help them continue to love the game and get everything out of it that they can, I think that's probably the best part for me.
Yeah. All right. And back up a little, you mentioned a little bit already, but I'm just curious, what other sports have you played besides lacrosse or coached?
I mean, growing up, I did everything. Whatever was in front of me, I would do it. I loved playing football as a kid. I loved playing basketball as a kid. Those were kind of the 3 main ones with lacrosse. And then lacrosse was kind of the one that stuck through college.
All right. So, moving on. So, how do you describe your coaching style?
That's a good question. It's probably a better question for our players. They could probably describe it better than me. But I think the thing that comes to mind would just be like authentic. I'm myself. I don't try to be somebody else. I trust my players. I believe in what we're doing. I think the big picture is the most important, and sports are just a vehicle to teach young people about life. And I think if you came to one of our practices, you'd hear music, you'd hear guys yelling and having fun, and my coaching style kind of fits that. Like I like to have a good time. I like to be focused. I like to balance everything out, and that's kind of my coaching style. I trust my players, and I have fun coaching.
Yeah, that's definitely important for coaching. And so now back into the game. How is it important for everyone to be on the same page, like during a game or just overall?
Yeah, it's really important. I think like any team sport, right? You want to make sure everybody's kind of lockstep, and we have just the best coaching staff. Our coaches are second to nobody, and I think we're very, very much on the same page, and I think that trickles down to our players. I think like I said, when you trust your players, they'll kind of trust the plan, and then it makes it a little easier to stay on the same page. It's just an open dialogue between coaches to coaches, coaches to players, and players to players, where we're always trying to just get better and become more connected every single day.
Okay. All right, so on to the next question. What do you do as a coach to get the best out of your players?
Yeah, I think that goes back to that idea of relationship building and trust. I think in order to get the most out of your team, right, they have to trust your process and get to know you as a person before they really believe in what you're doing. So to me, the relationship building part is really important, and empowering our players, right? We want them to have a say in things, and I think that helps for us to maximize their potential.
Yeah, most definitely. And what is the best part about coaching high school lacrosse?
The best part, for me personally, I think it just keeps me young. Like I feel energy every day when I wake up. I'm excited about going to practice or getting to coach in a game, and for the bigger picture, the best part about coaching high school lacrosse is being able to have that positive impact in somebody's life in some really important years where they're learning about themselves and hoping to push them into a positive path using the sport.
So how have the players inspired you?
Yeah, so it's been great. Now knowing a lot of them for two full years and being new last year and really getting to know them. Honestly, their work ethic, their care for each other, and their care for this town, it's inspiring. You can't coach this group of guys that we have right now and not think to yourself, I have to give my very best effort as a coach today. And it's been an inspiration to me. It's given me a lot of life as a coach. Like I said, I wake up just ready to go every single day and get through my work day and get here so we can get on the field and kind of do the thing we love to do.
Yeah, that's very important. And final question is, what is your most proudest moment as a coach?
That's a really tough question. I've had a lot. I've been really lucky, and I would say at Somers, one of my most proudest moments was last season on alumni night. We had about 20 alumni interacting with our current team, and that was pretty amazing. And I was really proud of the effort we gave that night in the game, and just proud of the program. I still think my most proud moment's still to come here at Somers, and then I would add in 2023 with the Israeli team when we played Jamaica in the World Games in a kind of a final game. That was probably the proudest I've been as a coach. That team went through so much, and it was as emotional of a win as I've been a part of. So that was pretty cool. But I'm just proud of the players mostly. I love how they act. I love the way they work. These guys here at Somers, I think their best lacrosse is ahead of them.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, I want to thank you for coming in today, and thank you.
Appreciate it.
So now on to our NASCAR Bristol recap. Not much. The race was mostly dominated by Kyle Larson as he wound up taking that one. Second win of the year and a phenomenal win for Kyle Larson.
And now we're going to predict NASCAR Talladega. Benny?
Yeah, so I think NASCAR Talladega, there's really anyone at that track could win. And I think I'm going to go with underdog here. He's not won in a while, and I think he's going to win clearly by luck. And I think Bubba Wallace gets a win here.
I have Ryan Blaney at Talladega.
Nice. Now we're on to our Texas race predictions. Benny, what do you have?
Yeah, so I think one driver that's always been phenomenal at Texas is Ryan Blaney, and I think he is going to take that one.
I have William Byron. He's up there. Very well could be his race.
Yeah, and then now on to IndyCar. IndyCar race coming up next, and I think it's going to be Alex Palou. They're going to, I believe it's Alabama, a great track that Palou has won at and done phenomenal at in the past. He only has 2 wins this year. He's doing much better as his team has gone down to 3 drivers so they can focus more on him, and you're seeing that right away as I think he's going to get his 3rd win out of 4 races.
Now we're going to do our NBA playoff recaps of the playoffs so far. So as of now, as we're recording this, the Cavs are leading 2-0 right now.
Alright, so now we're on to the Magic and the Celtics series. Magic have played the Celtics tough, but luckily the Celtics, as I am a Celtics fan, the Celtics have been able to prevail in both of the games so far.
Yeah, Pacers Bucks. The Pacers are leading 2-0.
So now we're on to Knicks Pistons. The series is leaning towards the Knicks. The Knicks are winning 2-1 right now. I think the Knicks can get it in 5.
Alright, and next up we have the Thunder and the Grizzlies. It's just been a rout for the Thunder, dominating the Grizzlies, showing why they are a 68-win team, and they already look like they're going to be a threat in this playoffs.
Yeah, and on to Rockets Warriors. The series right now is tied at 1-1. And Lakers Timberwolves, the series is also tied 1-1. So both of those are tied as of right now.
And yeah, both those are exciting series. I'm excited to see what happens. And the Nuggets and the Clippers, this has been an exciting series, and it's currently the Clippers who are up 2-1. But next up, we're going to be on to our NBA playoff predictions. And me and Phillip will be predicting, and let's do it by each round. So I'll go first with my first round, Thunder and Grizzlies. And this prediction, at least for me, was before the playoff. But I think one game into the playoffs so far. So Thunders and Grizzlies, I think it's going to be the Thunders, as it already looks like it. Thunders take that series. Got the Nuggets and the Clippers. I do think the Nuggets are going to win that series as well. Got the Lakers and the Timberwolves. And I think it's going to be an upset with the Timberwolves taking it. Lakers in the playoffs with Luka for the first time. I still think they're just figuring things out, and it's not going to be the Lakers this year. And then we have the Rockets and the Warriors. I think the Warriors are going to take that one. Now on to the East. We have the Cavs and the Heat. I think it's going to be a rout for the Cavs, as they already are playing phenomenal, taking that one. The Pacers and the Bucks. The Bucks have just not been playing their best basketball as of late, and that's why I got the Pacers winning that series. And they are already up 2-0. That one. We got the Knicks and the Pistons, and this one I see being upset. I think it's going to go till 7, and I think the Pistons are going to wind up taking that series. And the Celtics and the Magic. Of course, I have the Celtics sweeping the Magic.
Yeah, so now on to my bracket. I have the Thunder, obviously Thunder, Grizzlies. This should be an extremely easy win for the Oakland Thunder. Next we have the Nuggets, and I do think the Nuggets are going to come out on top. I really love Nikola, and I think his energy is just too good, and I think they're just going to win. Lakers Timberwolves, I'd love to go with the Lakers on this one. I really would, but honestly, I do think that the Timberwolves can pull this off. I think they're a great team, and also, like Benny said, Lakers in the playoffs. I mean, it's kind of like the Cowboys. They kind of choke a little bit. Then next we have Rockets versus Warriors. I do have the Rockets winning this. I mean, I love Steph Curry. I really do. I love that team, but I'm not too sure. They're kind of past their championship caliber level of team that they had so far. And now on to the next side, we have the Cavs taking on the Heat. I think this should be a win for the Cavs. Miami Heat isn't. They're a good team. I do like them, pretty well-rounded. But I do think that the Cavs are going to take this. Next, we have Pacers taking on the Milwaukee Bucks. I think the Bucks can get this done. I really do think, but I'm just going to go with the Pacers. I have just this weird feeling the Pacers are going to win it. Next, we have the 3-seed Knicks taking on the 6-seed Pistons. I'm honestly not too sure. I do think the Pistons can pull this off, but I'm just going to go with the Knicks. And finally, for our last one, we have the Celtics taking on the Magic, and I do think this should be a sweep for the Celtics.
Yeah, definitely. Now on to our next round. So I got the Thunder playing the Nuggets. Nuggets figuring stuff out right now with recently firing their coach. I do think that's where it ends for the Nuggets there, and the Thunder take that series. Timberwolves, Warriors. Yeah, Warriors have all the keys to go on a playoff run with playoff Butler, and that they have gone on one with a similar team before, but I think it's going to be the Timberwolves who take this series. Cavs, Pacers, I think it's going to be the Cavs who get it done, probably in 5. And the Pistons, Celtics. Pistons have always been a team that the Celtics have somehow lost to, even when they weren't a good team, and the Pistons have always somehow been able to figure out how to beat the Celtics. I think they'll probably do that for 1 or 2 games of the series, but I still got the Celtics winning the series. I'll say in 6.
All right, so right now we have the Oakland Thunder taking on the Denver Nuggets. I think this should be pretty close. I do think Nicola's going to basically be carrying this team, but, I'm going to go with the Thunder here. And next we have the Timberwolves versus the Rockets. I do see the Wolves taking it. I think they are a great team, similar to what Benny said. I think they're a great team. I do think they're well-rounded. So I think they're going to be taking it over the Rockets. And then we have the Cavs taking on the Pacers. I'm not too sure on this. I think it could be 50-50. I know it's kind of difficult, but I do think that the Cavs are going to take this one. And then finally we have Knicks Celtics. This is funny because the Knicks obviously lost earlier. They didn't lose to the Celtics, but last year in the playoffs. But I do think that the Knicks are going to lose, unfortunately, and it's going to be the Celtics moving on. So next we have the Thunder taking on the Timberwolves. I do think that the Thunder is going to come out on top. And then we have Cavs Celtics, 1 seed versus 2 seed. I think the Celtics are going to take it.
All right, so now onto mine. I got the same 4 teams as him in both the conference championships. First, we got the Thunder and the Wolves. Thunder have been a phenomenal team throughout the year. Wolves have gone on a run, but I think this is where the Wolves' run is going to end here, and I think the Thunder are going to show why they're a phenomenal team and head to the NBA Finals. And then Cavs Celtics, yes, Cavs have had the Celtics number. Celtics, it's actually been pretty even. 2 great teams, but I think it's going to be the Celtics who show up. They have more experience, and they're going to get it done maybe 5 to 6 games. And I got the finals being Celtics Thunder.
And now, finally, for my championship, I have the Thunder taking on the Celtics. This, honestly, I see this as a clear 50-50. I'm not too sure. I mean, Celtics just won last year, but the Thunder are looking so good this year. But I'm going to go with the Oakland Thunder to win it all, just to contradict Benny.
Well, I got to disagree with you there, as, yeah, I think this is, I'm not just doing this because I'm a Celtics fan. I also think this is when it's going to catch up to the Thunder. Yes, they're a great team, but the Celtics, I think they're a better team overall. They've had ups and downs this season, but I think the Celtics are going to show up in the finals, winning it, similar to how they did last year in 5 games. Okay, so next up, what do you think will be the biggest upset in the NBA playoffs, Phillip? What do you think?
Honestly, I think my biggest upset that I don't really have too many, but I think I'm going to have to go with the Lakers losing. I mean, the Lakers, they are a great team. They have so many key players. They have LeBron, Luka, they have Reeves, but I honestly don't think that their chemistry is really there yet. I mean, they look great in the regular season. So who knows? They probably could win. They probably will win, but I just felt like going for the underdog on this one, and I think it's the Lakers.
Yeah, I got the Timberwolves won as before to the Western Conference Championship. If you forget, they made a one last year in the playoffs. Yeah, they did have a higher seed, but this is still a great team, and you've seen that so far, especially in that first game versus the Lakers in that series, and I think they're going to do it again this year.
All right, now we're on to our MLB game predictions. Brandon, why don't you start?
Yeah, well, April 29th, Yankees-Orioles play each other. I have the Yankees winning 7-3. On that same day, the Phillies are going to play the Nationals, and I have the Phillies winning 9-2.
Yeah, and I want to do 2 games as well. So I have the Red Sox taking on the Blue Jays on 4/29, and I think it's going to be the Red Sox who are going to take that one 13-4, and then the Yankees take on the Orioles. I think it's going to be a throw, maybe extra innings, where the Orioles take it 6-5.
And now our NHL playoff winner predictions. Benny?
All right, so yeah, overall, I think the NHL, there's a lot of teams that could really go and want to do it, but I'm going to say Panthers are going to go back-to-back winning this year's championship.
Yeah, I have the Capitals. The Capitals are looking really, really strong right now, so I just think that this is a pretty good choice for me.
All right, so next up, as you may or may not know, the NFL draft. We are recording this on April 25th. The night after round 1 of the NFL draft, and I'm going to discuss what was the biggest surprise. And there were a few, 2 I'd mentioned. So one is, the Jaguars surprising everyone, trading up to take Hunter at 2. But not only that, Sanders not being taken throughout the night, and still not on a team. Even the Giants took someone before him, and it's just, I'm surprised he's still available. He's great, has great talent. Phillip, or no, Brandon. Yeah.
My biggest surprise was Shedeur Sanders not being drafted in round 1.
Yeah, basically just to sum up what they said, the Jags, I don't think they needed to trade up for Travis Hunter. I mean, I do think they have a weak defense, but I don't think really getting Travis Hunter, he's going to be both sides player, or they're just going to play on one side. He was good in college, but that step up to the NFL with all these people with more experience that are bigger than him, that are stronger than him, I don't think he's going to perform as well as people think. And also, yeah, Shedeur Sanders, I thought that the Giants, I don't know why the Giants traded up from the second round to the first one just to take Jackson Dart. I mean, I do think Shedeur Sanders had a little more promise, a little more potential, a little better experience from previously having his father, Deion Sanders. And I also don't think my final biggest surprise is the Panthers taking McMillan. I don't think they needed wide receiver help. Yes, they did, but they had so many other things they needed. They could have got Kelvin Banks. They could have got a tight end in Tyler Warren or even Colston Loveland. They had so many other positions to address. And wide receivers, you can just go get Amari Cooper in free agency. You can get more people in free agency that I think they could have done better.
Yeah, and before we go, based on last night's draft, Sean Sanders is still available. And the question is, where is he going to go? And just taking a look at this, some teams possibly may get him. The Browns have multiple picks at the start, the second. Are they going to want to think about the future, getting a guy that, one of the top guys somehow still available in the draft? We also have available the Saints. The Saints, few picks more down, does he go to the Saints? I'm surprised they didn't take him at 9, as the Saints are probably going to need a quarterback for this part of this season, and they should look to the future as well with their new coach. And I think if they take Sanders, it's going to help them a ton.
Yeah, I think that he is going to go to the Browns. And I think the Browns are really, really smart. I think they somehow knew that Shedeur wasn't going to be drafted in the first round, and now they have all these second-round picks that can probably, get a Shedeur Sanders and get an offensive lineman to protect him, or get, another receiver for him, or another weapon, or another running back that's still in the draft. I think that if they could do those with their picks, they're going to make a strong team next year.
I'm going to the Browns. They have 2 picks in the top 5. They have the 1st and 4th. So I have Shedeur going probably the 1st pick of the 2nd round.
So that's going to wrap it up for this week's episode. So we are the Somer Sports Broadcasting Club. See you next week.